Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare quarter-dollar coins, cause some of these coins hold an incredible history, and some are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest varieties and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're taking a fascinating journey back in time to explore a coin that many think is just another piece of everyday change, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar. But believe me when I say this coin holds secrets that could make it a very special find for collectors and enthusiasts alike. So listen closely, because this might just change the way you look at your loose change. The 1965 Washington quarter marks a pivotal moment in U.S. coinage history. This was the first year the mint stopped producing quarters made of 90% silver and switched to a clad composition, a combination of copper and nickel. This change came about because of rising silver prices and a demand surge during the coin shortages of the 1960s. The new coins looked almost identical to the older silver quarters, but they were fundamentally different in metal content. To the average person, the 1965 quarter might seem ordinary, but to collectors, it's a fascinating piece bridging two different eras of American coinage. Now, let's dive deeper into what makes this coin so interesting and potentially valuable. First, while 1965 quarters were minted in massive quantities, most are just common coins with minimal collector interest. But here's where it gets intriguing. Despite the large mintages, certain rare errors and varieties have been spotted that set a few of these quarters apart from the rest. One of the most sought-after error types is the double die variety. This error occurs when the coin's design is struck twice, slightly offset, producing a shadow or doubled image effect on letters, numbers, or design elements. On some 1965 Washington quarters, this doubling can be found on the word Liberty, the date, or even on Washington's profile. These subtle but distinct doubling effects can turn a common quarter into a collector's prize. Another fascinating category is the off-center strike. This occurs when the planchet, the blank metal disc, is not properly centered in the coin press, causing the design to be struck off to one side, leaving part of the coin blank or showing incomplete imagery. The more off-center the strike, and the more visible the design remains, the higher the coin's value among collectors. Clip planchets are also known from this era. If you find a coin where a portion of the edge looks like it's been sliced off, you might be looking at a clip planchet error, a mint mishap that can fetch a significant premium in the market. Additionally, some 1965 quarters have been found with die cracks or other striking anomalies. While these might sound like imperfections, many collectors prize these unique characteristics because they tell a story of the minting process and add character to an otherwise standard coin. Now, beyond errors, condition plays a huge role in determining value. Coins in mint state condition, meaning they have never been circulated and show no signs of wear, are always more desirable. For 1965 quarters, finding an uncirculated specimen with sharp details, no scratches, and full luster can increase its value dramatically. If you come across a 1965 Washington quarter that's got an error, combined with exceptional condition, you could be sitting on something truly valuable. So, how much is this coin really worth if you find one of these rare error varieties or pristine uncirculated examples? The answer might surprise you. A 1965 Washington quarter with notable mint errors or an extremely high grade could be worth anywhere between $82,000 and $80,000. Yes, that's right, just one quarter, possibly worth more than most people make in a year. This is the magic of coin collecting, the history, the art, and the unexpected moments when an ordinary coin turns into a treasure. So next time you find a 1965 Washington quarter in your pocket, take a closer look. It might be hiding a rare error or be in such impeccable condition that it's worth a small fortune. Top 2, we're uncovering the hidden story behind a coin you might have in your pocket right now, the 1966 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, this might seem like just another regular quarter, but trust me, if you pay close attention, you might just be holding a rare gem that could be worth way more than you ever imagined. So stick around and listen carefully, because this coin's value and fascinating quirks could blow your mind. The 1966 Washington quarter comes from an interesting chapter in U.S. coin history. This was the second year after the mint stopped using silver in quarters, transitioning fully to a clad composition made of copper and nickel. That shift was monumental. not only changing the coin's metal content, but also sparking a wave of collectible interest for those first-clad quarters, including the 1966 issues. While millions of these quarters were struck, most have been in circulation for decades, showing signs of wear and tear, making pristine, uncirculated examples surprisingly hard to find. But here's where it gets really exciting. Within the massive numbers, some coins have mint errors and unique characteristics that set them apart and make them especially valuable. One of the most sought-after features on the 1966 Washington quarter is the presence of die errors, especially the infamous double die varieties. In these errors, parts of the coin's design, like the word Liberty, the date, or even George Washington's profile, appear doubled due to a misalignment during the die preparation process. This doubling can be subtle or quite pronounced, and spotting it requires a keen eye and sometimes a magnifying glass. Collectors hunt for these rare double die quarters because they are one-of-a-kind and can significantly increase the coin's worth. Another eye-catching error is the off-center strike. Imagine the coin being stamped but slightly off to one side, leaving part of the design missing and the rest shifted. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more collectors salivate over its rarity and uniqueness. An off-center 1966 quarter can show parts of Washington's face cut off or missing, making it a fascinating mistake to add to any collection. Then, there's the clipped planchet error. This occurs when the blank metal disc that the coin is struck on wasn't properly cut, resulting in a coin with a bite taken out of its edge. These clipped coins are not only visually interesting, but also incredibly rare, especially when combined with a year like 1966. Even regular coins in pristine mint condition can command impressive prices. An uncirculated 1966 Washington quarter, especially one graded highly by professional services like PCGS or NGC, can be worth much more than its face value, simply because so many quarters from that year were heavily circulated and show significant wear. So, how much could one of these rare or perfect condition 1966 Washington quarters actually be worth? If you're lucky enough to find a 1966 Washington quarter with significant minting errors, like a double die, an off-center strike, or a clipped planchet, or an absolutely flawless, uncirculated specimen, its value could range between $81,000 and $78,000. Yes, you heard that right. Tens of thousands of dollars for a single quarter. This goes to show that sometimes the smallest pieces of metal can carry incredible stories and surprising value. Whether you're a casual coin enthusiast or a serious collector, the 1966 Washington quarter is a fascinating piece worth keeping an eye on. Top 3, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of American coinage with a spotlight on a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket or your collection. The 1967 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, it looks like an everyday quarter, but this coin carries a special story and some rare features that make it a prized find for collectors worldwide. So, buckle up and listen carefully because this isn't just any coin. It could be a hidden gem worth a serious amount of money. The 1967 Washington quarter comes from an interesting era in United States minting history. By this time, the mint had fully transitioned away from silver, producing quarters made from a copper-nickel clad composition. This was part of a bigger shift in the mid-1960s, driven by rising silver prices and a need to keep coins affordable and plentiful. While millions of these quarters were minted and circulated widely, the story gets interesting when we zoom in on rare variations and mint errors that set some coins apart. Despite the massive numbers produced, finding a 1967 Washington quarter in pristine condition, free of scratches, wear, and tarnish, is already becoming a challenge. But what truly makes certain 1967 quarters incredibly valuable are the minting errors that occurred during production. One of the most exciting features collectors search for is the double die error. This happens when the coin's design is accidentally struck twice with slight misalignment, causing the letters, numbers, or even Washington's profile to look doubled or shadowed. If you look closely at some 1,967 quarters, you might spot doubling on the date, the word Liberty, or the phrase, "In God We Trust." These errors may seem minor, but in the collecting world, they can skyrocket a coin's value. Another fascinating mint error is the off-center strike. This is when the coin blank isn't perfectly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted to one side. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. Imagine a quarter where part of Washington's face or the lettering is cut off. That's the kind of mistake collectors are eager to find. You might also come across the clipped planchet error, where the metal blank used to make the coin wasn't fully punched out, leaving a distinctive bite taken out of the coin's edge. These clipped quarters are visually striking and are among the rarer mint errors, especially from this era. Beyond errors, the condition of a 1967 quarter plays a huge role in its value. Uncirculated examples, with sharp details and original mint luster, are highly prized. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC with high grades can fetch impressive prices, simply because so many quarters from this year have been worn down from decades of circulation. So, what kind of value are we talking about here? If you have a 1967 Washington quarter with a rare mint error, like a double die, off-center strike, or clipped planchet, or an absolutely flawless, uncirculated specimen, you could be holding a coin worth between $80,000 and $76,000. That's right, a single quarter, potentially worth tens of thousands of dollars. This shows how something as small and common as a quarter can carry incredible historical significance and monetary value when those rare details line up just right. So next time you stumble upon a 1967 Washington quarter, take a moment to inspect it closely. With a bit of luck, you might be looking at one of these rare treasures. Top 4 were shining the spotlight on a coin that might look ordinary but is actually a fascinating piece of American minting history, the 1973 Washington quarter dollar. While it might just seem like your everyday pocket change, this coin hides some rare secrets and valuable surprises that every serious collector needs to know about. So pay close attention, because this could change the way you see this classic coin forever. The 1973 Washington quarter comes from a period when the U.S. Mint was producing quarters in huge quantities, primarily using the copper-nickel-clad composition introduced in the mid-1960s. This meant that unlike earlier quarters made from 90% silver, these newer coins were more durable and less expensive to produce, designed for everyday use. But despite the millions of these coins flooding the market, some 1973 quarters have become highly sought after by collectors due to their rarity, unique mint errors, and condition. Now, what exactly makes the 1973 quarter stand out in the vast sea of quarters? Let's start with mint errors, because these mistakes are often what turn an ordinary coin into a collector's treasure. One of the most famous and prized errors you might find on a 1973 Washington quarter is the double die variety. This occurs when the coin's design is accidentally struck twice on the die, causing parts of the coin, such as the date, the word liberty, or even the motto, "In God We Trust," to appear doubled or shadowed. This doubling effect may look subtle, but it's unmistakable once you know what to look for, and it can dramatically boost the coin's value. Another incredible error type collectors love is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank isn't perfectly aligned in the minting press, causing the design to be struck off to one side. An off-center 1973 quarter might show part of Washington's profile cut off or missing, which is an eye-catching feature that makes the coin highly collectible. The more off-center and visually distinct the strike, the more valuable it can be. There are also clipped planchets to consider, coins where the blank metal disc was improperly cut, resulting in a coin with a missing bite from its edge. This mint error is rare and prized by collectors, especially on quarters from this time period. But errors aren't the only thing that can make a 1973 quarter special. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. An uncirculated 1973 Washington quarter with full mint luster, sharp details, and no scratches or wear will always be worth far more than one that's been tossed around in circulation for decades. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC certify these coins' conditions and can help set their market value, sometimes commanding significant premiums for top-tier examples. So, if you think you've got a 1973 Washington quarter in exceptional condition or with a rare mint error, it's time to pay close attention, because this coin could be worth much more than face value. How much more? Well, a 1973 Washington quarter with notable minting errors or in flawless mint state condition can fetch between $78,000 and $75,000. That's right, tens of thousands of dollars for a single quarter. This incredible value highlights why even modern coins deserve a second look. History, rarity, and those minting quirks all combine to make something truly special. Top 5, we're turning our attention to a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but hides some incredible surprises beneath its surface, the 1977 United States Washington quarter dollar. If you've ever held this quarter in your hand, listen up carefully because what you might not realize is that some of these coins are much rarer and more valuable than you ever imagined. So grab your magnifying glass, and let's explore what makes the 1977 Washington quarter a true treasure for collectors. The 1977 quarter was minted during a period when the U.S. Mint was producing quarters in large quantities with the now familiar copper-nickel-clad composition. Unlike the earlier silver quarters, these coins were designed for everyday use, and millions were struck. Because of this large production, many might assume that all 1977 quarters are common and of little value, but that's far from the truth. What sets certain 1977 Washington quarters apart and makes them highly prized by collectors are the rare mint errors and condition factors that create a buzz in the numismatic community. One of the most fascinating features to look out for is the double die error. This minting mistake occurs when the coin's design is accidentally struck twice, causing a doubling effect that's visible on the date, the word liberty, or the phrase "in God we trust." This doubling gives the coin a distinctive look that collectors absolutely love. Finding a 1977 quarter with a clear double die error can greatly increase its value, turning an everyday coin into a rare collectible. Another eye-catching error to watch for is the off-center strike. During the minting process, if the coin blank isn't properly aligned, part of the design can be cut off, leaving a quarter with a portion of Washington's portrait or the lettering missing. The more pronounced this off-center strike, the more dramatic and valuable the coin becomes. Collectors prize these imperfect coins because they tell a unique story of how minting isn't always flawless. Then there's the clipped planchet error, where the metal blank was incompletely punched, leaving the coin with a curved missing section along its edge. These clipped coins are rare, visually distinct, and add a lot of interest to any collection. Beyond these fascinating errors, the condition of the coin plays a massive role in its value. Most 1977 quarters you'll find have seen years of circulation, resulting in worn details and a loss of original mint luster. However, if you're lucky enough to come across a 1977 quarter that's uncirculated or in near mint condition, it can be worth significantly more. Professional coin grading companies like PCGS or NGC provide certification that helps establish the coin's quality and authenticity, boosting its market value even further. Now, let's get to the exciting part. What could one of these rare and well-preserved 1977 Washington quarters be worth today? If you have a 1977 Washington quarter with notable mint errors like double die or off-center strike, or an uncirculated coin in pristine condition, its value could range between $75,000 and $70,000. Yes, you heard that right, tens of thousands of dollars for a single quarter. This incredible value is proof that even coins from relatively recent years can hold amazing surprises and become coveted treasures in the hands of collectors.
And if you are new to the channel, make sure to like, share and subscribe to our channel to get more information about valuable coins in future.